What's going on, YouTube? I know it's been a minute. Been promising you guys new content for a while now. It's been probably a year since I posted anything. You know, between running my gym, traveling with the pro fighters that I have, working with my amateurs, you know, I've just been very busy. I haven't had time to really dedicate time to this YouTube channel. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody who has subscribed, everybody who has shared my channel, everybody who's commented, everybody who's pressed the like button, who's asked questions, who's interacted with me. You know, I try to get back to everybody. If I haven't got back to you, you know, at some point I will. But I want to thank everybody who's been part of this whole Coach Anthony Boxing on YouTube experience. My goal is to bring you guys the best videos I possibly can and teach you guys the best way that I can. All right, this particular video, I want to call it positions, okay? The reason I want to touch on this topic is because I feel like a lot of beginners and a lot of intermediate boxers might not understand all the basic positions there are in boxing. All right, head positioning, upper body positioning is very important when you're either being offenses or defenses, and you kind of got to know the pros and cons to every position. All right, so let's get started, all right? We're gonna start off in the first position, okay? Basic boxing stance. If you don't know how to stand, go back on one of my old videos. I have a basic boxing stance video, okay? But anyway, I'm gonna get my hands up, and I'm just gonna stand here directly in the middle. Now, this is the first position you learn in boxing, and it's a very effective position. I mean, from this position, I can throw all my head shots, right? I could throw a jab, I could throw a straight right hand, I could throw a left hook, I could throw a right hook, I could throw a left uppercut, I could throw my other right uppercut. I could put punches in combinations, jab, cross, hook, right, uppercut, uppercut, cross, whatever. I can put all my headshot combinations together and all my basic punches together from the middle, the center line. Draw back to this position. You're directly in the middle, right? So if I hit you, if I stay here, I can get hit back. That's why you hear a lot of trainers say, get off the line, or move your head side to side, or whatever the case may be, because they don't want their fighter to get hit. So remember, you could be very offensive from this position, but the drawback is you can't get hit. Another drawback is you can't throw every body shot from this position, okay? In order to throw effective body shots, you're gonna have to go to different positions that I'm about to cover. But for the most part, all head shots, combination punching to the head, good defense right here, the block shots, that's your first position. Okay, so the next position I want to talk about is shifting the weight over your lead leg, okay? Now when you shift your weight over the lead leg, there's a lot of benefits to that. First thing that I can tell you is you're no longer in the center line. This is position one, right, that we just talked about. Shots come down the line, slightly shift over, jabs, crosses, get off the center line. Second thing you do, you gain power on your lead hand, your lead arm, your lead side, okay? Whether you're a southpaw or orthodox fighter, this is the lead side. For me, I'm a right-handed fighter, so obviously it's my left side. From right here, I can throw body shots that I talked about. You can't really throw an effective left hook to the body from the middle position, but from here I can. So from right here, I gain power, boom, on a body shot. Okay, if I decide to throw a head shot, the same thing, I have more power, boom, right? Now, from here, I can also throw left uppercuts, boom, that's where I gain power. And I can even throw sneaky right hand leads, bang, I can throw them right from right here, okay? Person thinks you're gonna throw a left hook to the body, you throw a straight right hand. Now, all these punches are more effective from this position, but you do lose power. You do lose power on the right hand, okay? The right uppercut, maybe you can throw it, but there's really gonna be no real true effectiveness with it. It's more of a just touch a guy type thing, maybe on the inside or something. Another thing you're not gonna be able to do is stay in this position for too long. There's no way I could walk around the ring like this for a whole fight, right? From this position, I kinda can stay right here, throw my punches, but if I decide to come over here, I can throw combinations effectively, but after I throw my combination, I'm gonna have to either go under or slide out the other way and come right back to my starting point. So the pro is, like I said, you gain more power on the lead side, you lose power on your right side. You can still put combinations together, but you can't stay in this position for too long. Last drawback about this position also is it's a little bit more telegraphed. So for instance, if I throw a hook from here, boom, if you're on the inside especially, I just turn a hook over. But if I decide to come over to this position and throw a hook, yes, I gain more power, but you might know what I'm doing because the punch has to travel a little further. So whenever you see a person coming at you and they kind of come over that lead side, you kind of know they're looking to either throw a big power shot, possibly a sneaky right hand, but it's definitely a much more telegraphed position. So you have a lot of pros to that and a lot of cons. As long as you know what they are, you should be all right. All right, the next position I want to talk about is the opposite of the one that we just did. We just talked about all our weight over our lead leg. Now the only thing we're gonna do is we're in the middle. We're gonna slightly place it over our rear leg. Now from this position, it's more of a defensive counter-punching position. The pros to this position is, first thing is, I'm no longer in the center line, right? I started here, now I'm here, right? It's just like when I went over here, right? The punches have to travel a little further. A jab can hit me easier, now a jab has to travel a little further. Right hand has to travel a little further, okay? One thing I like about this position offensively is I don't lose much of my jab because my shoulder is still pointed at my target. So from right here, right, I can still throw my jab, I can throw an up jab, I can still do my jab as long as I step with about the same power. You don't lose too much power from this position. Another thing I like about this position, it gives me an opportunity to keep my lead arm a little more relaxed. From this position, you gotta keep your hand up. From this position, you gotta keep your hand up. And when you're fighting from this position, it kind of gives you an opportunity to drop that hand, rest that shoulder a little bit, and be able to work some of your counters and your defensive moves a little bit. For instance, if you're fighting in a Philly shell position, which is a video we're gonna cover in the future, by the way, but you know, I'm here. So from here, I'm not doing a Philly shell from the center because it would be a ridiculous thing to do. But from here, I kind of can work it. You can work your shoulder rolls, you know what I mean? You can work your shoulder roll counters, right? Shoulder roll counters. So you can kind of do those things. You can shoulder roll, you can bend the waist, right? To get undershots. It's a lot of things you can do from this position defensively. Your right hand doesn't lose power either. You actually gain power on your right uppercut. Your straight right hand has good power, just like if it was in the center. So offensively, you still have power with your right side. Now, the drawback to this position is you don't have really anything to the body with your lead side. If I want to throw a left hook to the body from here, it's not going to be very effective. If I want to throw a left hook to the body, I'm going to have to come back over to this position. So you see I'm here. If I decide I'm popping a jab, I'm kind of baiting my opponent, and then I shift over, I got to come back to this position in order to throw a left hook to the body, left hook to the head. Now, with the left hook, there is some things you can do. Like you can throw a sneaky check hook, right? You can pivot with your hook. You could do those things from this position, but you're not going to be able to have like an offensive hard hook from this position. You're going to have to come back to that lead position, okay? So you lose the left hook with any real significance offensively. You lose the left uppercut. Just doing this is uncomfortable for me. If I want to throw a good left uppercut, honestly, I'm going to be over that lead leg so I can throw some effective left uppercut. If I'm on the inside, maybe I'll throw it right up the middle. But for the most part, I'm going to be in the center or offline over my lead leg to throw a left uppercut. So to talk about these things again, you gain defensive moves, right? You have your counter shots or your shoulder rolls, your counters, your bends at the waist. You're off the center line, so you're able to do a lot more defensive moves, different forms of defense. You're able to do a lot more things defensively and counter-wise from this position. Now, I don't want you to think that you have to pick or choose one of these positions for your style of boxing. You can implement all of them. I can start off in the middle, right? I can start off, I'm baiting them with an easy jab. I'm not really being aggressive. Then I shift over and start digging some shots in that way. Maybe I'm here, I'm fighting a really aggressive fighter, right? A guy throws a shot, catch that shoulder roll it, I bend the waist, I might have to come back to this position. Okay, I might be here, right? Got to throw a left hook, I might roll under it, come back to the center, throw a straight right hand, combinations up the middle, and I'm back in this position. So basically all it is knowing what you could do and what you can't do in this position. Another good reason to pay attention to this video and maybe watch it a couple of times is so you can recognize what kind of fighter you do have. Because you got guys who are very much so guys who fight on their rear, their back foot, and they kind of stay in this position at all times. You got guys who do that, and those guys are primarily defensive counterpunching type boxers. So you know with those guys, you have to be careful when you go in because they're looking to either throw check hook, shoulder roll uppercuts. They're looking to do sneaky things. If you're fighting a guy who's in the middle or he's always tilting side to side and he comes over here, he's looking to throw big left hooks, straight right hands down the middle, and he's looking to be very aggressive. So you can kind of recognize what kind of fighter you have or what your fighter is trying to do when he goes to those positions. So it kind of gives you more incentive to say, okay, right now he's being aggressive, let me go ahead and work some of my other things as opposed to, you know, when he's just being defensive. So it's just something to think about. And we're gonna have all different kinds of videos that are gonna tell you how to fight different kinds of fighters and different things you could do. So when you start recognizing these things, you can have go-to moves that can help you utilize, you know, your skills against these type of fighters. So that's just something that I really want you guys to pay attention to. I hope this is informative. I hope you guys can understand what I'm trying to give you. I wasn't taught this way, like I said, so this kind of teaching is just something that's been going through my mind, and I've been trying to figure out how can I explain positions to people, especially intermediate and beginner boxers, in a way they can understand. Hope you guys liked the video. Like it, share it, subscribe to the channel. Another thing, I want to give a big shout out to King Mo, aka Muhammad Lawal, right? Bellator, American Top Team. He's a professional MMA fighter. I've been working with him for, you know, a couple years now, and I've gotten to travel with him, work with him, and got a lot of professional MMA experience. You know what I mean? Boxing is very effective for not only boxing, it's also effective for MMA. Big shout out to my man, Mr. Klaus, the guy bringing you these quality videos. You know what I mean? He's coming up here and he's filming these videos, directing them and all these things, and you know, he's just the reason that I have these videos. So I want to give a big shout out to him. If you need quality stuff, make sure you check him out. Make sure you check out my Instagram. The link's gonna be below, Coach Anthony. You can check out some of the stuff I've done, some of the fighters I've worked with, some of the fighters that I'm currently working with. It's on Boxing MMA in Delran, New Jersey. Boxing Life.